Alright guys, quick installation video for the Inspiron 1545, upgrading the processor. Obviously take out your battery, hit the power button and hold it for 15 seconds to make sure that it's drained to power, which I have already done. Take off your screws, which are stuck in place, so I'm kind of screwed myself, but I will do it. I will. Just needed to find the right bit, which I think is here. There we go. I would suggest wearing an anti-static wristband if you are standing on carpet or anything like that, but well, you shouldn't be anyway, so don't be that stupid. But you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws to take out right here to access that crap, so take them out. I'm continuing my video. Somebody decided to call me in the middle of it. Mother. She's gonna see this on YouTube someday and be like, bloody shit. Stupid ass. You're kidding me. This thing cannot be that badly screwed. What? What? Oh, it doesn't even go in there, duh. I didn't need to take that one out. Okay, so if you guys are watching this video and you have not already stripped the crap out of the screw, do not take it out. You're welcome. Now, you want to take off your heat sink, which is retained by 5 screws. 1. You want to be careful touching your computer components. You don't want to be jabbing them with the screwdriver like I just did. You don't want to be putting oils or sweat on them from your hands or dirt. And you want to take them off as opposites, so take out corners. Don't just take them off in a circular pattern. Really get a nice even release of pressure. Take off your heatsink. Nice and easy. Come on. You might need a flathead screwdriver to pry it out. Not really pry it out, but just give it a lift so it lifts out nice and easy, like it's supposed to. Come on, heatsink, stop being a pain in the ass. Go on. Oh, duh, I'm bending that screw. I really should be paying more attention to this. Damn it. Go. Be careful not to fling your screws up and out of your computer because they will be a pain in the ass to find. Take that off. And you have your processor right there. So you want to go ahead and take a small flathead screwdriver, give it a half turn so that it releases. That should release it right there. I believe it should. Oh, there we go. And it should lift right off. Nice and easy. And you want to take your next processor, new processor, this little beauty right here. And what you want to do, you go and get the camera in on this. You want to see, line up the pins on the bottom of your processor to the pattern right here. So what we see is that the part that's devoid of pins is on that corner. So you want to go ahead and take your processor, which this is my T9600 that I just got, and you want to see where it is devoid of pins, which is that corner right there. So you want to line up that corner on the same spot that doesn't have pins. You want to be very careful. It should just drop in nice and easy, just like that. And then you can go ahead and tighten it down. Now what you need to do is you need to apply thermal paste. You want to be very careful when doing that. I would suggest that you look up a technique on how to do it. But unlike Dell, you definitely do not want your thermal paste looking like this. It's the first time I've taken out this processor, and that is what my thermal paste looks like. It looks like a 6-year-old did it. So, what you want to do, you want to take your thermal paste. I'm going to put the thermal paste that I suggest using in the description below, as well as a link to the processor, a basic computer toolkit, stuff of that sort. And it'll take you directly to Amazon, but you want to use Arctic Silver or a comparable thermal paste, and they come in little tubes like this. I'm using a Cooler Master one that is very similar to Arctic, whatever the hell the name of that is, and you want to apply a small, maybe pea-sized or smaller amount to the center of your processor. Just like that. And even that right there is actually a bit too much. I might have to redo that. Hoping I won't, but I might have to. What you also want to do is you want to, let me take out these screws. It looks like they're not coming out anyways. You want to clean the bottom of your heatsink. You're going to have thermal paste stuck all over it. And give me 1 second. What you want to do is take 90%, or if you don't have 90%, 70% isopropyl rubbing alcohol and a non-lint releasing cloth. I'm using toilet paper right here. And you want to fold it up nicely so you get a nice edge to it, like that right there. And you want to, obviously away from your computer, apply just enough rubbing alcohol to it that it soaks through, like that. And you want to try not to spill any, but I'm kind of doing this in a hurry. What you want to do is you want to take your heatsink, and when rubbing this rubbing alcohol on it, your thermal paste will come off nice and easy. Just rub the thermal paste on there, let it soak for a second, and it should come right out pretty much. Unfortunately, Dell put this stuff on like a toddler, so it might take a second to come off. I might actually even have to like scrub it, because that's how bad it is. But generally you don't have to. It should come off kind of by itself. Since this is a little bit extreme, I am going to use quite a bit here, but I would not suggest doing this. Thank you, Dell, for this, and I hope somebody at Dell sees this, because this is pathetic. This is why I don't buy Dells. This is not my computer, this is my mother's computer. Yeah, and you know what, this is on so badly that I'm actually going to have to scrape it off. Thank you, Dell. It is really on there, and I do not suggest doing this with anything of this sort. But I'm impatient, and I don't mind fixing it if something goes wrong. What you want to do is use a little wire brush if you have a similar situation such as me. Just grab a clean one. Looks like I don't have any clean ones, so I'm going to use a slightly old wire brush to clean it off. And I'm going to go ahead and, you definitely do not want to do this on your processor. I'm only doing this on the heatsink. And I do not suggest doing this on a desktop heatsink or something of that sort. The reason why I feel safe doing this is because the thermal paste itself will fill any gaps in the heatsink that are caused by the abrasiveness of the wire brush. So that's why I feel fine doing it. But once that is done, you want to get your rubbing alcohol again and finish cleaning all of Dell's crap off of there. This is why you don't buy pre-made crappy Dell computers, or pretty much any other brand. They're just complete crap. This is why you pay a builder or you build it yourself, so you don't have crap products. And let me also say that I've had to take this computer apart probably 6 times so far over 3.5 to 4 years of use, and any computers that I've built have not had to take apart at all, because they're actually built well, not pieces of crap. Now, unfortunately, I'm uncomfortable with that much thermal paste being on there, so I'm going to take off a little bit, but I do not suggest doing this. Actually, you know what? I'm actually going to take it off and clean the whole processor, because that is just a bit too much thermal paste. And putting too much is a very bad idea. So if you do, take your processor off, nice and easy. Do not bend your pins, do not drop your processor, do not twist it in the socket, because that will bend it. Take it off nice and easy. Take some toilet paper again with some isopropyl rubbing alcohol, like so. And I'd already cleaned the processor off, so I didn't show that step, but if you're just getting your processor, I suggest cleaning it off before you install it, just because a lot of times oils and stuff get in there from the handler, and it is not good for the processor itself. You also want to try not to drop this on the chip itself, on the printed circuit board, because that is not good for it. But occasionally that does happen, such as that right there. Unfortunately, this is coming out really messy. Now, what you might notice after you've done this is, if you haven't updated your BIOS already, you will need to update it to at least version A14 or above to fully take advantage of the benefits of the T9600 processor. But you go ahead and show that on camera, just to show you guys how to clean it. Drop some rubbing alcohol in there till it's well soaked, but doesn't drip. Take your processor, as so, and clean it off nice and gently. You only want to go one way on it. You do not want to go 2 ways in your rubbing, because that can cause abrasiveness and scratch your processor and things of that sort. And you want to be very careful. Unfortunately, I did a bad job in cleaning it up so far, in the sense that I let the thermal paste itself get on the board, but it's not a problem for me. I can clean it off myself. I'm pretty good at it. So let's go ahead and take the chip and finish cleaning it off. Make sure there's no lint on there. The good thing with this, much like brake fluid, is that it evaporates almost immediately, so you do not need to worry a crazy amount about this getting on your parts and staying in there. But like I said, I would not suggest dropping it on your parts themselves, because that can be very dangerous. You could fry circuits. But let's go ahead and do one last swipe on that to get it completely clean. So you want to grab it. Nice and easy. Do one more pass over on it, try and get everything out of there. Try and get any stuck lint off of there as well. And you want to make sure that there's no lint on there as far as possible. But you can see some lint on mine. Just lightly take it all off. There you go. And now I'm going to check my processor again and lightly reseat it. There you go, and it is seated. You'll be able to tell very easily when it does drop down into the socket. If you cannot, do yourself a favor, take it out and try again. There we go, well seated. And let's get a very small amount of thermal paste this time. Let me go ahead and zoom this in that way you guys can see. Where are you going? Oh, I thought you said bye. And let's go ahead and focus in on my processor right there. Go ahead and just apply a very small amount of thermal paste. That right there should be good. Not even a pea-sized amount, actually something much smaller than that. Because this is a very small surface that you need to cover, unlike a desktop processor. So you want to be careful about how much thermal paste you apply, because it will spread out once you do apply it. So that should be perfect right there. And I'm sorry, but I do not know something that size to reference it to in order to tell you how much to put on there. But what you can do is you can go ahead and take your heatsink after that and place it on it very evenly and very gently, because you want your thermal paste to spread very evenly and nicely across your processor. So you want to put it down nice and gently. As soon as I get the heatsink lined up in there, nice and gently. You don't want to push down too hard. It will slide around a little bit as it settles. I'm sure you guys were not able to see that, but it will slightly slide around. You want to very carefully start putting your screws in corner by corner, opposite sides. So you don't want to tighten them all, because if tighten them all the way. If you do, you will squish your thermal paste out to odd corners, and it will not get set properly, and you will possibly, in the worst case scenario, have an overheating processor. So you want to be careful about that. Jeez. Sorry about that, you guys. I'm very tired. I have not. I slept 6 hours in 2 days and studied a lot more than that 6 hours, so I'm very tired. Jeez. So excuse my sloppiness, both in the video making and in the installation. And make sure you guys do it properly, please. I do not want to hear complaints from people about this not working for them because they made mistakes. I can kind of afford to be a little bit sloppy, not really, but I can, because I know what I'm doing and how to fix problems when they arise, so it's not a problem for me. You want to tighten your opposite screws nice and slowly and evenly, tightening one, then the opposite, and one, then the opposite, until they're all tight. You do not want to tighten them too tight. You barely even, you want to go about hand tight, meaning where you start getting a small amount of resistance from it. Tighten your last screw, and this one you can tighten all the way. I mean, immediately. You do not need to tighten something else. And once those are all in, you can go ahead and get your paneling back on, rear paneling. Make sure everything is connected. All your screws are back on. Give them one final check. Throw this back on. You want to make sure paneling is well seated. go. Throw our battery back in there. And you might need to push your paneling down just a little bit to get it to fit into the creases. Once that is done, we should be able to start up our computer, given that it has battery. And let's check what our BIOS says. Now, let's go ahead and check our system information in our BIOS. Just 1 second as I set my camera. And I will show I'll put a link to a video showing the Windows Experience Index change. However, right now let's check our system information. We have Intel Core 2 Duo CPU, T9600 at 2.8 gigahertz, a core with a 6 MB processor cache compared to my last processor cache of 1 MB, and much better speeds, much more significant speeds. So if you guys like this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Check out my channel, check out many of my other channels if you want, and check out my blog. Like I said before, links will be posted in the description below to purchase these products through Amazon. And that's pretty much it. Please check out the other videos and have a great day, you guys.